The polka dot door, let's peep through the polka dot door. Songs and stories and so much more. Through the polka dot door, this is the time we always say, get ready, get set for dress-up day. Things to wear and games to play, so come in the polka dot way.
Ready?
Ready. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh, a sunny day. We were both right. Hi. Salut. Garth and I are playing a dress-up game.
Hello, bonjour. We both dressed ourselves for the weather in the picture, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Why don't you play with us?
We're trying to guess what kind of day it is by looking at this tiny piece of the picture here. Can you tell? Is it a hot day, a cool day, a winter day, ooh, really cold, or a rainy day?
I think I know what kind of a day this is.
So do I. Do you?
Going outside is easy to do. You can wear anything, red or blue. You can wear wild clothes that are out of sight, but the clothes that you wear have got to be right for the weather, for the weather. Ready?
Ready. Well, I think you'd be pretty wet without this.
You're absolutely right. If you thought that it was a rainy fall day and the right day for a rain hat, then good for you.
Let's try another one.
This one could be tricky. Do you think you know what you'd wear on a day like this?
I think I know.
Going outside is easy to do. You can wear anything, red or blue. You can wear wild clothes that are out of sight, but the clothes that you wear have got to be right for the weather, for the weather. No, I'm having a little trouble deciding. Let's look carefully and see if we can see anything special that'll tell us what the weather is like in this picture. Okay, I'm ready.
So am I.
Here we go.
Oh, well, I think I'd be pretty hot wearing these, don't you?
Let's try one more.
See if you can guess the weather.
Going outside is easy to do. You can wear anything, red or blue. You can wear wild clothes that are out of sight, but the clothes that you wear have got to be right for the weather, for the weather.
Which one of us do you think is wearing the right clothes?
Let's find out. I guess I'd be pretty chilly without scarf and mittens to go with this.
I think I'd be just right. If you've noticed that this was an icicle with a drop of water at the end and not a raindrop, then you are very observant. Good for you. The temperatures outside tell us what to wear.
Hot temperatures tell us to wear summer clothes. Summer clothes are t-shirts, shorts, sandals, and bathing suits.
Cold temperatures tell us to wear winter clothes. Winter clothes are sweaters, snowsuits, boots, hats, and mittens.
You know, all this talk about hot and cold reminds me of our song of the week.
Sing it with us, and do the actions, too.
Clap your hands in the air. If you're hot, you'll fan your hair. If you're cold, you'll feel some heat. Just keep clapping to the beat. Well, what should we do now?
Let's try shaking.
Come on, shake your knees. If you're hot, you'll feel the breeze. If you're cold, you'll soon feel warm. Just
keep shaking up a storm. Hot and cold, feel the same to young and old. Cold and hot, both are gonna get you if you like it or not. Both are gonna get you cold and hot. How about dancing?
Let's give it a try.
Let's all dance around. If you're hot, you'll cool right down. If you're cold, you'll warm right up. Keep on dancing like a spitting cup. Hot and cold, feel the same to young and old. Cold and hot, both are gonna get you if you like it or not. Both are gonna get you cold and hot. Both are gonna get you if you like it or not. Both are gonna get you cold and hot.
You know, all this talking and singing about hot and cold temperatures has given me an idea. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. Do you know that some people have warm hands and some people have cool hands? Try yours out on your face like this. Mine are warm. Are yours warm or cool? Well, one thing is for certain. We never have to worry about having cold hands because we can always wear mittens.
Can you tell what I'm making? I'll bet you can. If you said a mitten, you're right.
I've got another one for you. Can you guess what this will be? I'll give you a hint. It's kind of like a mitten. If you said a glove, then you're very good at telling the shapes of things. Good for you.
I'm almost finished cutting this first piece. Remember, when there's cutting to be done, always make sure there's a grown-up around. Cutting can be dangerous. There. I'm going to use this as a guide to make the second piece. Like this.
I have to be careful when I'm doing this, not to cut off the fingers. There. Now, I'm just going to use this as a guide and trace it around and cut another one out.
I'm almost finished cutting the second piece. A couple more snips, and there we go. I'm going to join these two together to make a whole mitten. I'm using glue. You could use tape. And you have to be careful not to glue across the top, or you won't be able to fit your hand in.
That's the same with the gloves. Don't glue along here.
Now the fun part, decorating them. You can use sparkles and just glue them on, or you can put stars on it, or polka dots, or you can draw lines on it. That's what I'm going to do. Draw some lines. In fact, you can decorate it any way you like.
We've made lovely mittens and gloves, but they certainly wouldn't keep your hands very warm. One of the warmest types of mittens are made out of wool, like these ones here. Now, these gloves aren't made to keep your hands warm, but to keep your hands clean. They're made out of cotton and they feel nice and cool. Do you know where cotton comes from? If you look through the polka dot door, you'll find out. Let's look. This farmer is preparing his field for planting cottonseed. The seed is poured into buckets on the planter. When each one's full, the planting can begin. The seed is planted in rows. This special film shows how the cotton plants grow. It looks like they're dancing, doesn't it? The farmer weeds the rows so the cotton plants get all the nourishment from the soil. But there are other dangers to the plants. These insects eat them. These caterpillars like nothing better than munching on the cotton plant. The farmer checks to see what other insects are on the plants. Let's see what he's found. Soon, the cotton is ready for harvesting. Special farm machines do the job. The harvested cotton is taken to a machine called a baler. It packs the cotton into large bales. The bales are taken to a processing plant where the cotton seeds are separated from the fiber, or lint. The cleaned lint is then packed into smaller bales and sent to a factory where its quality will be checked. Although machines are used, the best way to judge the cotton's quality is still by touch. The different grades of cotton are then packed together and sent to the shipping yard. From here, they go to factories, where special machines turn the raw cotton into thread. Once it's become thread, the cotton is wound onto large spools. Machines like this one can wind hundreds of spools in one day. From here, the thread will be sent to textile mills that make cotton cloth for shirts, sweaters, pants, even mittens and gloves. This pattern will make quite a sweater, won't it? The cotton seed is ground up into oil that's used for cooking. Maybe you've been to a restaurant like this. Cotton seed is also used to feed cattle. So many things come from cotton. Let's pretend to put on a pair of our favorite mittens or gloves. Now see if you can do the same thing with your hands as I do. Now we'll go slowly the first time. Ready? Let's go. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. Oh my, I love my mitten. Oh my, I love my glove. Oh my, I love my mitten. Oh my, heavens above. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. Well, you did very well. Now, let's try it again, only we'll sing it a little faster. Ready? Let's go. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. Oh my, I love my mitten. I love my mitten, oh my, heavens above. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. I'm just sitting, smitten with my mitten. I'm just sitting, smitten with my glove. Ah, well, that song can get very complicated. You know what else? Wearing mittens around the house can get awfully hot. Whew, well, that's a bit better. I'm going to save these for a really cold day.
These mittens won't make your hands feel hot.
Oh, you finished them. They look great.
There's the story time clock. I better go because today I'm telling the time and the story.
I know a little poem that helps me when I'm putting on my mittens. It goes like this. When I put my mittens on, I have to do it so. My thumb sticks out to the side, my fingers stand in a row. There. Now let's repeat it for the other hand. When I put my mittens on, I have to do it so. My thumb sticks out to the side, my fingers stand in a row. There. Now my hands will be nice and warm for a cold winter's day.
Hello, Storytime Mouse. It looks like you're waiting for it to snow so that you can go tobogganing. Well, that should be fun. Don't worry, Mouse. It'll snow soon. Let's all tell the time together. The long minute hand has moved all the way around the clock and is pointing straight up to the 12. So it's something o'clock. The short hour hand is pointing straight to the 4. So story time today is 4 o'clock. What do you like to do when it's cold outside and snowflakes are falling to the ground? Maybe you said that you like to build a snowman. Or maybe you like to make snow angels in the snow. Or maybe you just like to run around and catch snowflakes on your tongue. There are lots of fun things you can do in the snow. Our story today is a poem about a man on a very snowy evening. It was written by Robert Frost, and it's called Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening.
Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep. But I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep. And miles to go before I sleep. Can you remember the animals that were in the woods? A rabbit, a squirrel, some cardinals at the feeder, some deer, and of course, the horse pulling the open sleigh. Watch for them as we read our story again. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near. Between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sound's the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
And that's the end of our story. Did you notice the sleigh that the old man had? I know a song about a sleigh. Maybe you know it too. It's called Jingle Bells. Why don't we sing it together, and we can pretend that we're driving a sleigh too. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we'll go, laughing all the way. Ha, ha, ha. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun it is to sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Whoa, whoa. Oh, Nellie. There we go. That was fun. Now, let's sit here quietly in the woods and watch to see if any animals come along.
The toys wanted to play a game. Do you feed animals in the wintertime? Well, if you do, you'll be a big help to the toys. Why don't you play it with us? You see, each toy is dressed up like an animal.
Wow, the toys look terrific in their costumes.
See, Marigold has a big, bushy tail. What animal can you think of has a big, bushy tail? Did you think of a squirrel? Well, if you did, you're absolutely right. And this is what her footprint would look like if she were a squirrel.
Now, Bear has long, pointy ears. You know what animal has long, pointy ears? If you guessed a rabbit, good for you. Now, this is what his footprint would look like if he were a rabbit.
Humpty has a beak and wings. What animal can you think of has a beak and wings? Did you think of a bird? Well, if you did, you're absolutely right. But actually, he's an owl. And this is what his footprint would look like if he were an owl. Actually, it looks kind of like an X, doesn't it? Well, that's because owls have 4 toes, 2 in the front and 2 in the back, so they can grip onto tree branches.
Dumpty has long, pointy things on his head. Antlers. Do you know what animal has antlers? If you said a deer, you're right. Now, this is what his footprint would look like if he were a deer.
Now, here's our game. In front of us here, we have 6 bowls of food. We have seeds, carrots, Jell-O, berries and raisins, pasta, and nuts. What each of our animals has to do is guess which food is the right food for them. And there is a trick. 2 of these bowls are full of things that none of these animals would eat. All right, Marigold, you're first. If you were a squirrel, which food would you choose? Do you know? Marigold says that she would choose the nuts. Let's see. Check. A perfect match. There you go, Marigold.
What's that, Bear? Bear says He knows which food a rabbit would choose. Carrots. Let's check. There you go, Bear. Another perfect match.
All right, Humpty, you're next. Humpty says that he would choose the seeds if he were an owl. Seeds. A perfect match. If you guess that owls like seeds, then you must know something about owls. There you go, Humpty.
Well, Dumpty, are you ready to guess? Dumpty says he's ready. All right, Dumpty, which bowl would a deer choose? The pasta. Well, let's check. Well, that was a good guess, Dumpty, but it's the wrong one. Don't worry, we're going to give you another shot at it. Now think hard, Dumpty. Which bowl would a deer choose? Dumpty says the berries and raisins. All right, we'll check that one. Perfect, there you go. You got it right this time, Dumpty.
What's that, Marigold? Marigold says that she'd like to go for a sleigh ride.
All right, Bear, let's go for a snowy sleigh ride in the woods. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha, ha, ha.
Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun it is to sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, it's time for us to go. Bye-bye. Au revoir.
A bientôt. See you soon.
Hi, I hope you enjoyed Polka Dot Door as much as we did here in the studio.